let's go for it.
All right. So, in the shadow of the stone tower that looms above the plaza, that in Soldra, it is very cool. But the many bodies standing in close proximity have made the air humid. The din of the crowd swells, and between the noise and the heat and the anticipation of what's to come, the atmosphere is stifling. You have found shelter and shade under the arched uh, porticos that protrude from the edifice. Thick stone bricks comprise comprise the walls and structures encased within the Plaza of the Sun. An ironic name, for the tall walls block out most of the natural light and everyone stands within its shadow. Before you is the flat facade of the Temple of Bahamut. Above the large arched door hangs a beaten metal shield emblazoned with the profile of a dragon. To the left is a half circle dais. The stairs lead to another large door, the entrance to the king's palace, where the ruler and his family reside. Atop the dais are three chairs, one each for the king, the queen, and the princess. And to the right, attached to the temple, is a tall cylinder tower. The top of the tower is ringed with triangles resembling a crown, and a small spear protrudes from each point. The structure is simpler than the others, adorned with only one slated window toward the very top and a small wooden door at the bottom. Under your feet, the stone is grouted with blood. On any other day, your visit to Soldra would likely consist of a stroll through its bustling market, a meal of fish and rice on the beach, and perhaps a visit to the Temple of Bahamut to see a musical performance. But you have arrived in Soldra on its strangest day, and the whole city is tense, pulled taut like a bowstring. You've overheard mutterings that today is the day of sacrifice, a ritual revered by the people of Soldra. Soldra treats this day like a festival, despite the darker reality. The citizens are decked out in jewel-toned finery, and the city has been scrubbed clean. King Augustin presides over the ceremony, joined by Queen Catalina and their daughter. Soldra respects the king, for it is under his rule that Soldra has continued to enjoy peace and prosperity. So, as you guys are standing underneath this wall, with there's all sorts of people, all decked out in their finest clothes, and everybody's just kind of chattering about nothing's quite happening quite yet. Is there anything that you guys want to do?
No.
I mean, I would think that Louis Louis taking more of a I mean, not necessarily casual, because this does sound more like something that is of serious, but he is about as casual as he can be in such a serious sounding atmosphere. He's kind of just kind of keeping a watch over all the people that are there, just kind of seeing what's happening. He's got his signature combat microphone in hand. He's not necessarily like twirling it or anything because it's like the size of a quarterstaff, so it'd be kind of obvious to do. But he's kind of just more or less using it as like a support, and he's just kind of just watching. He's just seeing, catching a drift of the vibe, seeing that kind of what happens.
Okay. So Louis just kind of.
So is it odd that there's blood on the dais? Like, what if they sacrifice people? Shouldn't there all be blood anyway? I'm
Uh,
confused.
the blood is just more s- because you're in this like the center. I'm sure that that's where they would like have like their executions and stuff. So having the stone grouted with the grout stone be grouted with blood probably isn't something that is unusual. It is an odd detail. I apologize, but it's not something that would be considered unusual for where you guys are standing in the town.
Okay.
Mhm.
How tall are you guys?
How tall are we? Is what you're
Yeah.
asking?
Yeah, my
Uh,
companions that I'm standing next to.
I would say that Louis is about 5'8". I think. I'm trying to find a picture of him to put in like the chat so you can get an idea of what he looks like.
I remember it
Here we
was
go.
the artistic one that you had drawn with the musical notes that were coming out of the microphone.
Yeah, I was just gonna post it though, so if everyone wanted a refresher.
So is everybody just kind of standing there, people watching a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Um, somebody or all of you roll a perception check, and you
Yes,
can just roll it
okay.
on your own and tell me what it is. That's fine.
I got a 9.
Oh, look, we can all see each other's
Would my
rolls. That's cool.
That's okay.
would well, actually, you know what? No, never
Hey,
mind.
I got a 9 as well, but +1.
Okay.
I
10.
was about to ask if my passive would cut it, but probably not if you're asking us to roll. So
Mm. What's your passive?
11. It's better than my roll.
We both got
I mean,
11s.
Okay.
my passive is 15, but I rolled an 11.
And what did you get? So we got a 15 passive with a roll of 11, 11 passive with a roll of a 9,
With yeah.
and then Dizzy, what was yours? 11 with an 11.
Sorry, 10, no, 10 with an 11, my bad.
Oh, somebody brought me a popsicle. Sorry. So as you guys are kind of standing there, kind of you all hear this, and out of the corner of your eye, you see a lady in a sapphire gown start whispering to her companion and kind of gesturing towards the dais, um, saying, "It's an
Mhm.
executioner." And he looks at her and he goes, "You don't say his name. Don't say his name." And as they're going back and forth, uh, he tells her, you don't speak ill of the executioner. He does the king's bidding. He only condemns those who defy Bahamut." And she goes, "Everybody knows that he's like the bag man that comes and steals your children at night." So they're going back and forth, obviously terrified of the executioner. Um, at the same time, you see a man come out of the building. He's an older man. He's got a long black tunic that brushes the top of his feet, and his feet are actually bare. He's bald headed, um, and you can tell it's hot out because he's sweating just a little bit. His face is long and weary, and he looks like he may not have been sleeping for a few days. There's a thick silver chain that is around his waist, and on the left side hangs a sword in a scabbard. And you see him come out, and he just kind of comes out to the dais. You have the dais up by the two buildings, and you have the three chairs, and he comes out and kind of stands to the side of what would be his position as the king's executioner. And he just kind of stands there, and his arms are at his sides, and he just kind of, you can tell, like, from the whispers of the crowd, he doesn't have a very good reputation. People are kind of scared of him, and he just has a very stoic face, like it doesn't phase him at all, as if he's used to it.
Are we here after the sacrifice, or is this before the sacrifice?
This is the start of the ceremony.
Mhm.
This is the start of the ceremony.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
understand that. Sorry.
No, that's
Um,
fine. Roll me either a history or a religion check. Your choice. How bad was it?
I have a 1 to both, so a solid 9.
9. So you've heard enough chatter in the city to know that there's an offering that is about to take place, that a woman will be sacrificed to appease the dragons, but you're not sure how the sacrifice is done. But people are very, like, they speak in tones of fear and reverence both. Fear that one of their own daughters will be chosen, mixed with relief that the sacrifice happens, so that way they will be prosperous for another year.
So this ceremony, is it like a celebration, like a party? Like, is there food and drinks to be had somewhere?
You see
Mhm.
where there's like the food stalls are set up, but they're not active yet. Like Like they're there, they're set up, but there's nobody there. Like everybody's kind of surrounding the dais, and then behind would be like the food stalls. But
Mhm.
nobody's there. You can smell the food.
So nobody's just working it, but is there actually food there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna go help myself.
Okay. Uh,
I'm just gonna fly over, find one that's got some meat patsies,
nice.
and just sit down, use my toothpick short sword to cut off a slice out of a meat patsy, just kind of hover and sit and start nibbling on a corner of the meat pie and go, Mortals are so weird. This is supposed to be a party, a celebration of life. What? Why is everybody so somber? Nom,
It's and
nom,
then
nom.
as you're doing that, a lady next to you that's in this green sapphire-ish greenish blue dress, she's kind of standing beside you, and she turns and she because she hears you and she goes, everybody knows it is a party, but we have to wait until after the selection is over with, and then we party. Don't you have any daughters that are up for the selection?
Oh, honey, not in this realm.
well, it's very, we're very fearful because once the daughters go up the peak, they never come back. And then, but once there's
Ooh, that's intriguing.
once the celebration starts after the selection, which should be happening anytime now.
Tell me more about this. You mortals are fascinating. So they choose a girl at random, and it goes up to this peak where it's supposedly a sacrifice to Bahamut.
Yes.
I mean, Bahamut's a stiff dear. He wouldn't go for something like this. This is strange.
And you would know how Bahamut works? Our high priest tells us that this is how we've gotten prosperity for years, and it works. And this is what Bahamut has told us to do. So this is what we do.
Honey, Bahamut comes to the Feywild to party. He is not one to sacrifice innocence. That's not what he stands for. He stands for life, truth, and justice. And I'll just like start twirling my hand, and out of the woodwork next to me, I'll just have a like a silver rose grow with druidcraft. And I'll pluck it, and I'll just look at it, and I'll go, he's as shiny as this and as noble. Here, you can have this.
She takes what kind of flower did you say it was?
Just a bright silver rose, to
Okay.
almost the shade of what the platinum dragon scales would be, but just enough to make her think like, I don't know, whatever it is that she naturally deems from it.
So she takes it. She says, "Thank you," and kind of baffled, she walks away.
Louis is gonna s- casually, almost a little nonchalantly, he's just gonna kind of make his way over towards the direction where Genezi is, and he's gonna stand kind of next to him, and he's gonna say, "Well, aren't you quite the charmer?"
Oh my god, dear, you are beautiful. I love the soup. Purple. Mm, mm.
I mean,
Have you
I,
ever been to the Feywild?
um, I mean, in my travels, I believe it was only the one time, but I believe so. It's been a while though, so my memory might be a little fuzzy.
You should come back soon.
I mean, that would definitely be an experience I'd enjoy. You know, I did see you
Yeah, you would.
partaking. I did see you partaking of the spread here, and honestly, I was a bit surprised you being of your lineage and place where you're from, and how you not partaking of anything a little sweeter. At least that's what I witnessed when I was there.
Well, when you're surrounded by mortals, do as mortals do and just enjoy the life. Just enjoy the time.
That's fair. That's fair. I wonder when this ceremony is gonna be kicking into high gear. I am looking forward to a party, but like to see the spectacle that they plan to show us.
I mean, you're practically immortal like me. What's a few millennia as we wait for the children to grow?
I mean, you know me, I'm a performer. If I can get a chance to sing a song or two, then there are some times where I get a little impatient, but you are right. The Especially in my case, a performance I can get after a little bit of waiting is a lot sweeter than one where I could just jump in right away. So,
Well, the atmosphere is very boring and somber right now. The
exactly.
lady over here said that it's supposed to start soon, and once they choose a sacrifice, then that's when the rambunctiousness happens.
Oh my, sacrifice, really?
To
I don't.
Bahamut, of all things. Mm-mm-mm.
Oh my.
That man does not like sacrifices, so I don't know which devil they be worshipping. Either way, me Patsy's not too bad.
And then Louis gonna kind of say in a little bit more of a hushed tone, well, we ever need to jump in if things go a little sideways. I mean, I'm prepared to.
I mean, if it's entertaining.
Well,
True.
while you guys are
Is there
talking,
like
Roar of Veer, is that how you say that? What are you doing?
Ro- Right of it. Is there like a stage or something, or like a center area? I was just gonna go stand in the center area and look around, and just be like, oh, it's not starting right now, so I'm just gonna be like,
So there's the dais, like yeah, where the thrones
sure.
are.
I will go stand beneath that or whatever like area it
It's
looks like.
it's like a platform almost.
Oh, okay. Can I stand at the edge of the platform? Because I assume I'm not allowed on the platform.
So you're gonna stand on the edge. You're gonna like push your way through the crowd to go to the edge of the platform.
I'm very, very tall. I'm like 7'8" lion man with a big golden mane. I mean, if these short little human people want to get out of my way, they can. But I'm
I
just like, yeah, making my way
I'm
through.
sure just fine. You make your way up to the end of the dais. Is there anything else you're gonna do?
Or I just want to stand there and look intimidating. Just arms crossed, like, this is interesting.
So as as you walk up to the diocese, while the other two are having their conversation about mortals, um, all of a sudden a trumpet plays, and out of the main building, the doors open up. And you get a procession of a few guards, and then out comes a man, and he wears a bejeweled golden crown that resembles the top of the tower. Um, he has dark hair, but he's got a dark beard, and it's streaked with gray. His outfit is com, comprom- his it's rich and red and ruby and just very high. You can tell he's very important. He smiles at the crowd, and the crowd all cheer and laugh and yell, "Long live the king!" And since you all have pretty high perceptions, if you're paying attention to the platform, you notice that the executioner just a slight just kind of stiffens up a little bit at the sight of the king. Um, right behind the king comes the queen. Um, she matches her husband's outfit. She's wearing a ruby gown inlaid with gold. She's a they make a very handsome couple together. She has very dusky skin and very vivid amber red hair that in certain light, it looks like it could be a firelight. She comes up and she takes her husband hand and faces the audience as the crowd starts to holler for Augustine and Queen Catalina. They both end up turning towards the door and stretch out their arms and walks through comes through their daughter, and as she comes through, the crowd just does this like audible like sigh, like fangirl sigh, like they love her. um she's a very remarkable young woman. She shares her mother's beauty, and she's built like her father. um she has auburn hair, and is up in a very intricate braid that circles her head, and she has a silk vest and skirt the color of ox blood. And she smiles at the crowd and does her princess wave as she takes her seat beside her mom. Um, as soon as they all come out and the queen and the princess get seated, the king he remains standing and he says, "Welcome, citizen. I cannot talk today. Welcome, citizens of
No worries.
Soldra." And you can hear like how the center of the town where you guys are at, how the structures are built. His voice easily carries out through all corners of that structure. Um, and you feel the crowd, just the love they have for their king, as they all just applaud and cheer for him. And he says, "I am honored to oversee another year of peace in Soldra. And Soldra's peace and prosperity is hard won. Our people have sacrificed much, and we continue to honor Bahamut with our annual ceremony. I thank the loyal members of my court for their vigilance in protecting Soldra from heresy, from those who would disrupt our rituals and our way of life." And then as soon as the crowd roars and applauds, excited for their king, um, everybody roll an active perception check.
Okay. 18.
5.
Did mine even
Okay.
show up?
Yours isn't in the game yet.
I didn't see it.
The hell. There we go, 15. And what now did it show up?
No, but I'll take that 15. I don't know why it's not showing.
Oh, either.
Um, Louis and Ganazi, you guys will notice that as soon as the king starts to mention the ceremony, the executioner tenses up even more, and he actually glares at the king's back, like how the king's up front of the platform, and the executioner would be to the right and kind of like behind, and you kind of notice that he starts to kind of glare, not like an obvious glare, but his eyes narrow at the mention of the ceremony. Once the crowd settles, the king says, "As per usual, Priest Nahum will select this year's offering. Once she is selected, she will be anointed and escorted to Garra's Peak by our designated guide." And he points over to the executioner. "High Priest Nahum, it is time." And then the smaller of the two towers, the door opens up, and you see a tall, dark gold dragonborn, and he comes outside, and he's dressed in long navy robes. And it's kind of, from you guys being here for the day, you notice there's not a lot of other races in the city. So like, you all have been considered, like, everybody, you've noticed that you've been watched. There's not many dragonborns, there's not many warforges, definitely really no fairies or lion people. So it's mostly humans. So to see somebody who wasn't human in this place of what they would be considered power, from what you've gathered over the last day, is a little jarring, a little bit. And he said, "Okay, I was practicing this voice earlier. Let's see if I can do. I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's see
you
if I can
got
do.
it.
No, I don't got it. Watch me. No, okay.
Yeah, you do. You got it.
I
Let's
was
see
gonna
it.
make it really high. I can't. How was I gonna do it? Now that I'm. had to think about it now. He goes, I've made it high pitched.
Mhm.
Thank you, my king. I am pleased to
Yeah.
lead another day of sacrifice. Daughters of Soldra, come forth. And next thing you know, all these young women start in a single file line start coming out of the tower.
Mhm.
Is every woman wearing a dress?
Yes.
Okay. Up on the dais, is there like a kind of box or something that they're gonna like draw names out of?
Not that you can see.
Not that I can see.
But you want to roll me a perception check?
$14. Did that roll go through?
Yeah, it did. You notice that the high priest is clutching what looks like a pouch. And just how he's clutching it makes it come off as that it is very important.
Okay. I want to be a mischievous little scamp.
Go for it.
You are a fake
And
creature.
Since basically every woman's wearing a dress, and I'm like 7 inches tall, I just want to fly down and just hop from dress to dress to dress until I'm closer to the dais because I want to get in the queen's dress. Specifically, I want to be in the queen's dress.
Oh my.
Because I want to be able to hear everything going on, not just the voices that are being projected. And also, her hair fascinates me. I was going to go towards the lion who needed his fur braided, but then you said this red hair kind of looks like fire, and I have the fire background right now, and I feel like it's calling me. So with my teeny tiny form, the fact that there's this huge distraction, I'm just gonna. So as a fairy, I can choose to have wings or not. I am not a winged fairy.
So
I can just fly without visible wings, and I'm
So-
only 7 inches
so
tall.
You're flying at the bottom of the dresses, or you're jumping from dresses to dresses?
I'm flying on the maybe an
Walking
inch
on
above
air.
ground.
At the hems.
I'm
of the
not going
dresses?
up.
Sunshine.
I'm going at the hems of the dresses. Everybody's looking up. Nobody's looking at their feet. If it's typical big open dresses, those things are huge.
They are huge. So
I could
Yeah,
just
yeah.
skirt. Once I get underneath one, there's nobody sees me just jump. Well, I'm saying jump, but just go from one to the other. It's only going to be that last one up to the queen that might have some difficulties, but
so
I'm Faye.
so go ahead and roll me a stealth with advantage.
Fantastic.
Oh man, this is great.
I don't know if this
If you
because
have
I
to
had to
roll it
remove the
twice.
D. I have to roll it twice now. Okay.
Just roll it twice.
There's a 17 and a 19.
Easily done. Next thing
Nice.
you are at the
The
dress.
queen's
The
dress.
queen's dress. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Um, from from the queen's dress, is there people behind them also looking up, or is it just kind of a front view, like to the back of them's a wall or something? What's behind the queen?
Behind the queen would be the main tower that they came out of and some guards. So like it's a front view type thing.
Okay. All right. All right. Um, what color is the dress that the queen is wearing again?
It was ruby with gold. Yeah. But if you're looking if you also look behind the queen, you also kind of see you would easily see her from where you're standing. Another young woman kind of standing in the doorway in the shadows a little bit. And she's wearing a black dress and she's just standing there watching the proceedings.
Is anybody else wearing a black dress?
No. Roll. What
Does
would?
she look visibly shaken?
No. She is. What would that be? First, roll me an intelligence check.
Intelligence. Not my strong suit. There you
Okay.
go. I'm just a fae.
So,
Having a fae time.
nobody else is wearing a black dress.
Okay.
Your perception is high enough that just off the bat you notice that she gives off a very eternal calm. Like despite like some of the other girls, you can tell they're very nervous and jittery. And the crowd
Hmm.
has that overlaying like fear and relief mixed to it. She is just down calm.
So, is it the calm of somebody who has already accepted their fate? Because you've already said the executioner's kind of given off some weird vibes to the king. And now that I'm close enough, I see this girl in the door wearing black and very stoic and accepting. I'm thinking the executioner's daughter has already been chosen to be sacrificed, and this is all facade.
Um, she does give off the calm of that she has accepted her fate. Yes.
Okay. I want to be able to see the priest when he puts his hand into the bag, and I would like to hold druid craft for whenever he tries to attempt to pull a name out of the bag.
Okay. Easily done. What's everybody else doing?
Well, I looked to the side where I saw my friend once before, and he's gone, and I'm like, oh no.
That's
Because
fair.
like, yeah. So
I mean, if you've been to the Feywild, you already know I'm up to no good.
yep. Oh yeah. Um. So okay. So, because I'm trying to get a good image in my head of what's around me. So what? Okay. So from where I am right now, what am I seeing around me? Like,
So you see the king and the queen and their daughter, the
yeah.
princess, come out. The queen and the
Uh-huh.
princess take their
Okay.
seat, and the king gives his speech.
Yeah.
Then the priest, the
Mm-hmm.
dragonborn priest, comes out, and he calls forth the daughters, and I would say
Yeah.
about 15 girls walk out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you at this point. That's what's going on. Um,
And yeah, and from like where the dais is and such, like how far away am I from that point in terms of like feet? Maybe if you don't have that, that's fine. I'm just
no,
curious as how far away I am from there.
I would say probably 30 feet, because you get
30
if
feet.
you were back by like let's say probably 50, because if you're by the
Uh-huh.
food stalls, there's a crowd
Yeah.
between you and the platform.
And is this like a thing where people are like sitting, or is this a thing where like people are standing
They're
up and
standing.
like watching? They're standing. And because I'm also trying to imagine like the location too. Are there like is it kind of just a thing where like everyone's kind of like standing together, like just like a crowd type of place, or are there like seats for people to like sit if they're like told to sit or
No,
something like that?
it's like they're standing because
Yeah. Okay.
because you can tell from just the looks of things, this is where the king does come and give some of his speeches to the people quite a bit, and it's
Okay.
also where like
Okay.
executions are held. So like whenever so
Yeah.
in my head,
Okay.
when you have an execution going on, there's the crowd standing.
Okay.
There may be some benches back by the food stalls, but up
Mhm.
between where you're standing and where the crowd is, there is nowhere to sit. They're all standing.
Okay. I'm just getting a good picture because what I would like to do is, since I am a little bit further back, I'm gonna try and make it as subtle as possible, but I do just want to get a bit closer so that I'm maybe like 20 feet away. I just want to get myself closer, but like I'm also trying to be like really subtle about it. Like if I'm just moving somewhat slowly, I'm just kind of like, um, I mean, obviously, like you mentioned earlier that like, we're kind of a bit of standoutish people. So like even if people are kind of watching me, I feel like at this moment with like what's happening, they probably should be watching, the people that are lining up and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just trying to be subtle about it, making my way a little bit closer because I see my friend's gone. I'm like, oh no, he's probably up to something. So in case something happens, I want to be a little bit closer than where I am or where I was, I
Okay.
should say.
Easily done. And
Yeah.
Veer, what are you doing?
I am standing there menacingly watching because I haven't seen anything and I have nowhere else. Because I'm already at the front. I'm just standing there like. Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
So, Ganazi, you will see this automatically. Rovir and Louis, roll me an active perception.
Oh, nat 20.
I got
All
a
right.
16.
Okay, so you both are close enough that you can also see this. You see that each of the girls, all of you see each of the girls wears a silver amulet. You can't quite tell, except for um, Ganazi, you are close enough. You could probably tell. But you two aren't quite close enough to be able to tell what's on it. What is on it is it's got like a dragon profile, kind of similar to maybe like a holy symbol amulet. Who rolled the 19? 21? 21?
I rolled the
Louis, you also
yeah.
see the woman that is kind of standing off in the doorway, and you also notice that she's very calm, and she's also
Mhm.
wearing all black. But
Yeah.
what you notice is that her the black of her outfit, and I can see Louis realizing this too.
Okay.
The black of her outfit and the black of the executioner's outfit match.
Oh, like they're pretty much the same color. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um.
Oh.
So, um.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, um. As the girls come out, and again, you guys notice the girl standing in the back wearing the black, very calm. At this point, the priest nigh him. He says, "Silence! Silence!" I had that high pitched in it. He says, "Silence!" And he shakes the bag. Each of the coins in this bag bears the name of a daughter. Each coin has been blessed by Bahamut himself, forged from the metals found in the depths below Garra's peak. It is time to see who this year's sacrifice will be.
When
Uh,
he jingled the pouch, did it actually make noise?
yes.
What?
And then he says, Bahamut, we present you with this offering so that you may shield us from those who would seek to do us harm. And he reaches into the bag. Now,
Perfect.
know that.
Here's what happens as soon as he reaches
Okay.
into the bag. With Druidcraft, the priest, because I could do this with Druidcraft, the priest lets out a massive, loud fart. just because I could do the sound of any animal. So I'm just going to make the sound of what Bahamut's farts sound like when he's partying in the Feywild. Just this. And then following that up with the raunchy stench of that fart.
So,
All with Druidcraft, because you could do that
Oh
with
my
Druidcraft.
god!
I broke the DM! I broke the DM!
this is why I love when Adam is my player, because he definitely pushes my improv.
Oh my god!
So, as this happens, we'll start from obviously where the girls are. some girls are probably 14 to 15, with the oldest ones being 21. So the girls that look like they're anywhere between 18 and 21, they very much try to like keep their composure. Um you see a couple of them shake with laughter. You see a couple of them grab handkerchiefs. A couple of the younger girls definitely run back towards the tower laughing, while being like, "Oh, my Bahamut." The queen, oh, she very much is struggling. You're sitting on her, so you can kind of feel this like silent laughter. As she pulls out her handkerchief, and her daughter next to her, you can feel her kind of like go next to her and kind of like give her that silent mom command of not to react. But the princess definitely is reacting. As
Oh.
she is laughing.
I mean, it stinks right now. I don't know how people are vomiting.
So
As soon as
they're definitely got handkerchiefs over. Um, the executioner, when you look, he smiles, but he's trying to hide it. But he's definitely smiling as he's coughing and kind of backing away from the stage a little bit.
And his daughter, what is she doing?
She, sh that's a very good question. Let me come back to that.
Okay.
as soon as this fart happens, you see the camera pan on Louis, and like literally you hear like he hears the sound of it, and he's just like.
And while
But
you-
he's also like giggling a little bit.
So then with the crowd, you have a mixed reaction. So you got half of them laughing, half of them running, half of them like coughing. I mean, it's just utter chaos.
Oh no.
Rora Veer, what do you
Yes,
do?
Okay, what is Rolbeer doing
So
with his keen sense of smell right next to this raunchy
I
fart?
actually, Rora Veer, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my gosh, this is fantastic.
Very keen sense of smell. If I did, I'd have a higher passive perception. 1 moment while I pull up my character. Let's go on Constitution.
You okay, Louis?
He's crying.
Yeah.
He's crying a little bit. Listen, I got
Oh,
one
my-
too right here.
My throat hurts.
This was so good.
So
I was like, I could do
I'm
what with Druidcraft?
I'm okay.
He's
I'm
lucky
okay.
on this. He's lucky because I don't want to fucking deal with this. 10. I
you
get
said
it.
you're using luck.
Yeah, I'm using my lucky because fuck yes.
So now you took your very imposing lion self to the front of this platform. So when the priest, he is actually right in front of you. So I would say that you do throw up. Yeah, you start gagging. You do throw up. I would say you're gagging so hard that you fall. So give yourself like 1 point of damage.
Okay. Okay, listen. When I see vomit, like that's it for me, like as a person. So does this set off a vomit chain reaction?
Oh no.
It would. It would.
Yes!
It
If
would.
Louis could, he would, but he can't, so he shan't.
I am the best fairy ever.
You see,
So-
Yes.
Now, so Rorovir, after you get this
Oh,
big
man.
nose full of the raunchiest fart you have ever smelled in your entire life, so much so that it
Oh,
has made you
man.
gag to the point where you have thrown up and fallen over, and with as much people. I say you take 1 point of damage because of you falling and people trying to run away from the stage. At this point, because you have lost a little bit of your fish lunch that you had, you're starting to see where other people are starting to gag and possibly vomit.
What about the priest?
I was gonna say,
The
what
priest?
what
the
does the
priest was
priest look
ground
like?
Zero.
What does the priest look
So,
like?
yep, I'll get there. Roravir, real quick. So,
Okay.
what are you trying? What are you trying to do as this is all going on?
Absolutely nothing. Roby has not
Ooh.
experienced his entire life. He's just chilling. He's like, okay, well,
Man.
I'm accustomed to battles. I'm not accustomed to people pooping in front of me.
Okay.
That's
You're
pretty much
accustomed to horrible smells.
I'm accustomed to dead bodies, but like this is I don't know what this is.
This is bad.
like apparently this is bad.
Oh, this is even better than what I thought it was. Oh, than I could have ever imagined.
Oh man.
So then,
What have I done with the
It's been-
character I made for him? Oh,
that's
man.
what I was
I didn't
saying.
even know Drew could fucking. I didn't.
What
That's
have I
like
done?
better than prestidigitation. I didn't even
That
know
is
that.
so much
thing.
Druidcraft is so. I was like, I could do all kinds of terrible things with Druidcraft.
Prestidigitation limits me
And-
to small creature sounds. I'm like, holy shit, maybe I want Druidcraft instead. Fuck this.
Your subclass is a great subclass.
So the priest
Oh man.
looks absolutely mortified. So
Did he
He better
succeed his
vomit.
con save from the smell of the vomit? I'm hoping that like he drops the bag. I want to get the bag.
I'm trying. So
Oh my gosh.
okay. So after this embarrassing body fluctuation and smell that happens, he's able to keep his composure, but
Damn it.
he does kind of get knocked by a couple of the girls as they're running away, trying to run and get away. And he actually does drop the bag.
Gust of wind with Druidcraft to push it under the queen's dress to me.
Okay. Roll a perception check though for me real quick.
Ah, you are these perception checks.
And that's all I can do with this thing. Like, okay, so you do
That
notice
is
that.
such garbage. On my screen, it's an 18, but it shows 5. Fuck you.
So
Damn digital dice.
it's not that high of a thing anyway. Most of the time, your passives will notice. You notice though when he had dropped the bag, his claw was still clenched, as if he was still hanging on to something. And then the bag successfully goes underneath the queen's dress. The girl that is wearing the black, if you look at her, she's definitely laughing. She has moved further back a little bit to kind of get away from the stench, but she also she's also gives off that determined feel, like this is something that needs to happen. So
Trying
she
to push through it.
she's just kind of waiting it out a little bit. The executioner looks really happy as the more of this goes on. And at this point, the king has summoned his guards to try to get everything under control.
What kind of outfit does the priest have on?
I would say just like your typical priest outfit, but it's very colorful. It's more fine than your typical priest outfit. Does that make sense?
So, yeah. So real quick, like I just want to glance at a couple of coins. Do they actually have names on them?
They do.
Or, okay, so they do. How big is this bag of coins?
I would say it's probably similar to like just a coin pouch.
All right. So I guess a question for the DM in regards to my race. Does it shrink because I now have it? Does it shrink to be my size? Like money does? Because how would a fae carry gold?
What is that trait, that racial, does it say?
It does not.
But
let me
I guess
see.
too, like, that makes, like, is there a racial ability? But then, like, then how would you do, like, swords and stuff too, I guess? So, yeah, it would make sense that once whatever magic that makes you fairy from the Feywild, once you grab it, it would make sense for it to shrink.
Okay, perfect.
I'm just going with
I
it.
want to grab it, just tie it to myself, so in essence it disappears.
Okay.
And then I want to go underneath the priest's robes to see what he's hiding in his sleeve with this dangly dang.
Easily enough with the distraction that you caused. Um, now you're in his sleeve. What are you looking for?
So you said that there is still something from his claw.
Yes.
I'm assuming that that is actually somewhere that whatever the like if it's a string, the string's on his claw, it's got to end at something, which I would assume is tucked into that sleeve versus being out in the open
Okay.
for everybody to see. I want to see what's on the sleeve.
Easily enough. He had grabbed a coin.
Okay.
It's a coin.
Okay. What kind of is it leather? What is the twine? What is the twine keeping these two things together?
Most likely leather. Leather.
Leather. Okay.
What are you gonna do?
Then I will short sword, cut the leather, pick up the coin, give it to me so it shrinks, and then disappear underneath the queen again.
So you're doing all of this while you're under his sleeve, though, right?
So if he's got longer robes, I'm just gonna be in here, um, cut so that we then I imagine that if something is tethered to somebody else, my magic doesn't affect it. So I'm trying to cut that tether with my short sword,
Okay.
so that way then the coin goes from this to this, and then I can just
Okay.
and fly back around and away.
Okay, I see what's okay. I got you now. My thing is, I'm trying to figure out is if he would notice because you're so close to him. Give me
Whatever.
No, you have what? What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say. I mean, I've got like, if he still isn't like hasn't doubled over from just sheer embarrassment yet, the stench will just continue.
It's fine. The dice just decided you're successful.
Does that mean you
Okay.
moved into your own cinch as well, though?
Yes, except I can craft the beautiful scent of roses underneath my nose.
Uh, um,
Okay.
Craft. It's broken.
War of
So now
Beer.
I have all of the coins.
You have all of the coins, yes.
Okay. I want to
Oh,
go
man.
back to where I was eating.
Okay. Easily done. Rovier,
Pick up another piece of Patsy and
watch the show.
watch the show.
Rovier, what is it that you are, or what are you doing while this is still going on? At this point, there's guards. I imagine I can see there being servants with like these big leaf fans, like doing one of these, trying to air out. So you've got these guards trying to get the crowd to calm down, and then you've got some servants with some leaves trying to let the air through, and then I imagine there's other servants with water buckets trying to wash up vomit. As they're quickly trying to get everything back under control.
Is the lady with the green dress still standing by where I was eating?
No, she's not.
Oh, okay.
Roravir, what are you
Damn.
doing?
I don't really like have much to do. I would probably just be like standing like well that's annoying. That's about it. Like, there's literally like I would just be like waiting for this to actually progress. Like I have zero interest in what this like facade is or like circus act.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Louis. What? While all this is going on, there's been a lot going on in the last 2 seconds.
Yeah.
What? As soon as that body fluctuation comes out with the stench, what are you doing? Come back to you and round out a little bit here.
So well, actually, it depends. Because this all did happen really fast. If I look back to where I was standing by the food, I'm kind of just looking to see if my my friend Genesi returned back to where he was. Is he there? If I look back at where I was, he is back there. Sorry, all that laughing got my throat messed up. So if I see him there, I'm gonna just as subtly as I walk to where I was now, I'm gonna do the same, walking back towards where he is. And I'm just gonna kind of stand in the same spot as I was before. And if he's eating, I'm just gonna kind of look over. And I'm not being loud about this. I'm trying to like keep my voice down so that I'm not really overheard. But I'm just gonna kind of look over and I'm just gonna say, "That was you, wasn't it?"
Darling, now this is a party.
Oh, you are quite the troublemaker. But that is what I like about you.
I need something to drink. Where's the ale? This! You mortals know how to throw a party. What color's the dragonborn, by the way?
Gold.
Huh? Gold? Ah! And the gold one farts like Bahamut himself! Ha ha!
On that note, as it starts to calm down, I'm gonna go use the restroom, and then when I come back, I imagine
Okay.
that we'll use that as a time frame of how long it takes for everything, which isn't long. Just give me just a second.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for this
What?
fairy that you made me.
What beast did I unleash with the creation I made? Man. That subclass is so good. Like, yeah, you get Druidcraft, you get like 2 spells, I think, and then you
Wait,
get
so
like the
what is
ability to add extra
Druidcraft?
damage on attacks. It's a good subclass.
What
And then
is
you
the
gave me
subclass and what
expertise
is
on
Druid?
stealth. Say that
I
again,
mean,
Patches?
Wait, what is the subclass and what is Druidcraft? Hold on, I have to look this
it's
up. 'Cause I
the
haven't used
Fey
Druidcraft in a long
Wanderer
time.
Ranger subclass.
So the fairy
Ooh.
gets Druidcraft. And part of Druidcraft is I can
Oh,
do a
yeah.
lot of minor abilities, such as
Yeah.
instantaneous, harmless sensory effects,
Yep. Okay,
such as
that's it.
falling
Yeah.
leaves, puffs of wind, the sound of an animal, the
Oh my
faint
god.
odor of a skunk.
Yeah.
So I just, it sounds like a massive fart, and
Yeah, and
it
if
stinks
I
like a fart.
and if I remember
Um,
correct, you can have like a couple of those effects going at once, can't you? That's why you made it
Mhm.
so that it was like a fart where you could like hear it and smell it. Oh man, that
yeah,
No, that was two castings.
Oh
Prestidigitation, you can
yeah,
have
yeah.
3, but
Okay, yeah.
for Druidcraft, I did the sound first, and then I followed it up
Yup.
with the smell.
Oh my god. Uh, oh.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, never mind.
Uh,
I was like, I was so confused on how you could make it smell like a dragon, and I was like, I see, I see.
I I'm a fey creature who just lied
yup.
saying Bahamut has go parties in the Feywild. The DM ran
Yup.
with it. It made the story go good. That's how.
Oh yeah. No, that's great.
In other words, I am more rule of cool, and if it makes sense, just go with it.
Oh
So
yeah.
fucking cool. Yeah.
That was way too good. Oh,
This is shit that
uh,
I would allow in my game because it's funny as fuck.
yes.
I was so confused why I vomited though. I'm like, wait, my character
Because
wouldn't do that. Why is he doing that?
you failed your God save, bruh.
Because you were so close to it, yeah, and you failed the con save. It was set at a
Oh, I
12.
feel.
I'm a
Oh,
mechanical being. I can't throw up.
So
you're a mechanical
as
being.
as
Yeah.
as Roravir starts to gather his bearings, and Ganazi and Louis, as you guys are just kind of sitting back and watching the show,
Yup.
everything starts to come back together and starts to kind of have some sort of resemblance again. Um, you have some high perceptions, so yes.
What 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 name is on the coin that I have?
So the
That's
name
separate from the bag.
on the coin that you have is is it? Oscar Augustina, which from
Augustina.
the words that you know, from what you've heard, that is actually the princess's name.
Oh, I was wrong as to who was being. Okay. Okay. Okay.
And then like as you guys are watching, because you guys have high enough passives, as you guys are watching, you guys see Naham just start getting frantic as he just starts searching his robes and around the grounds. He grabs a guard He grabs one guard to get the young girls that had ran off,
Mm.
back in the line. And then he goes over and he talks to the king. And you actually see even more so of the executioner's face just go from just elated. Um, that this has not gone from what you assume gone the way that you're supposed to, that it was
Hmm.
supposed to.
Oh,
But as you guys,
I have a I have a
yes,
quick question. I'm sorry to interrupt.
it's okay. Go for it.
Does would oh man, who are our people? Would we, us three oddballs, have been here long enough to have more of a conversation than just what Louis and I had within that short period of time?
Yes, I imagine you guys have been here for a couple days.
Okay, so um, one of the questions that Genesi, what do we say? Genesi.
Genesi, yeah.
Genesi would have asked you is does that amplify does that actually help you amplify your voice, your microphone thing? I have an idea, but I want to know if you have something to amplify voices. Is basically because your quarterstaff has the microphone on it, so that would have prompted me to be like, does that amplify your voice? At some point in
Um,
our conversation.
it's more or less the magic that I cast, I would say, that amplifies the volume of whatever I sing into it, I'd imagine. Like, I don't
Okay.
think it's the staff itself that would
Yeah.
amplify my voice, unless that
Okay.
would be something that'd be
Like
permitted.
when
But I
I
mean,
when I think of Louis' microphone, because we gave it quarterstaff
yeah.
stats, it's like, but I
Uh-huh.
also view it as also like his focus at the same time. Does that
It
make
is, yeah.
sense? So it's not
Well,
only but
it's
it's
Yeah.
his weapon, but also it's the magic goes. If I have it right, the magic goes is used because of the
Okay.
so
microphone.
this is
And yeah, that's
yeah.
his musical instrument. I got it.
Well, yeah, so like yeah,
Okay.
bards each have an
Okay.
instrument and I imagine his microphone is his. And the way that I imagined like the sound coming out of it actually is that if you look at the microphone, it's like a classical one where it has like, the front where you speak into it and then it has like the slots on the back. I always imagined to where I speak into it and the sound came out of the other side of it. Versus it coming out of like the bottom. I always imagined it coming out of the back side of the microphone so that, you speak into it and then the sound comes out of it, if that makes sense.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Disregard my idea then. Never
Okay.
mind. It wouldn't amplify
Yeah.
voices, which I would have manipulated to.
That would be really cool, but yeah, it's more or less the
All
magic
good.
is how I
Yep.
imagined it.
Sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt.
No
No,
worries.
I was just
it's
trying to
okay.
get clarification.
Uh-huh.
So, Roravir, are you still at the edge of the platform?
Literally, I would just be like, eh.
All right. So as you guys are seeing that the high priest and is running around kind of getting frantic. The dragonborn's getting frantic. And he goes and he talks to the king and you see that the executioner is you if you're not paying attention and it's a very slight movement that you can tell that he's gone from being aggravated with the king in this situation to kind of relief. It's all in these like subtle body movements that you guys can tell. And I just say that because your perceptions are high enough that you could easily tell, especially if you're paying attention. Um, then you all of us, after watching this for a few minutes, Roravir, you would be able to hear the conversations that they're having, where the priest is telling the king that the bag is gone, and then frantically looking at it. You would be able to definitely hear the disproving tone of the king's voice. He's not one to be like uh, threaten death, but he definitely threatens a depromotion. Of no longer being a high priest. Um, and then all of a sudden, the atmosphere on the stage changes as the girl that was in the black comes out to speak to the executioner, the king, and the high priest. And Roravir, you hear her say, Bahamut has told me that I am to be the next sacrifice. So don't worry about finding the coins, I will go. And you hear this whole conversation where her and her father start arguing, because at that point you can definitely tell that the executioner is her father. And the king thanking her. The king and the priest are thanking her for her sacrifice for stepping forward, and the executioner is arguing with them because it is his daughter. Is there anything you guys are doing before I continue? No? Okay.
Well, I want to give
Well,
somebody
okay.
else a chance to talk before I just steal the limelight again. So
Okay.
I have ideas, yes, but
Okay.
Well,
if somebody
actually,
else has something,
I did have a question
Go
about
for it.
something. So actually, looking at my character sheet again, it's kind of related to the question that Adam asked earlier, but like, okay, so Louis knows prestidigitation as a cantrip. I forgot that. So like, obviously he wouldn't be able to amplify a sound, but if I had prestidigitation and I wanted to make it sound like I was amplifying my voice, could I do that with prestidigitation?
that's a
I'm
good
calling
question.
another GM.
Yeah.
Are you looking it up too?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am. Because that, I don't know its specifics.
I thought a predestination was just kind of like a cleaning appearance
No, it
thing.
can do all kinds of different things. Similar to Druidcraft. Just a little bit different.
Spells of minor magical
You
tricks.
can create a harmless sensory effect.
Okay.
Making a voice amplified,
Yeah.
I would say not to the point of ear bleeding, but
Well,
to go
no.
from talking like this
I
to go
mean,
to talking like this would
it,
be
it
a
would.
harmless
I mean,
sensory effect. So
the way I
up to the
imagined
DM.
it is that it would just amplify my voice enough to make it sound like, I was actually speaking through a microphone and it might be coming out of like a loudspeaker so that people could hear me
No,
if that were possible.
like how loud are you going?
I'm not looking to like like Adam said, to make people's ears bleed. And this isn't even something I'm thinking of actually doing. It's just something that I was thinking about. If I were to like make my voice loud enough to where if I were to like draw the attention of people or something like that, or they could hear what I was saying into it.
Probably
But if that's not
to
like,
be able to speak normally or softly, and it sounds like he is projecting his voice to
Yeah.
a crowd and an audience
yeah,
without
Yeah.
having to do so.
As I'm
It's
looking,
like a
yeah, I just pulled it
slightly
up
worse
too.
minor illusion.
I would say yeah, you could.
okay,
I mean, it's a
adding
harmless
that.
sensory effect, maybe.
Okay, adding that to.
You can
list
do
of
faint
ideas.
And it
musical
also
notes
says faint
and
musical
an odd
notes.
odor.
Yeah.
So maybe
Alrighty.
like instead of a monotone, you go up one octave. But
Yeah.
I think Fosta's right. Your minor illusion spell would have been to really make you like amplified microphone, like the like get out of the car, old cop car movies.
Mm-hmm.
See this? See this?
So that. What about that? You
It's
just
going
throw that
out
out the window. There went the one shot.
It's like it's a good thing I was like had a crappy weekend and couldn't really prep because that just all went out the window.
It's his fault.
No, I love it. I'm not complaining.
He gave me this character.
I was wondering, like, well, as soon as I didn't even look at it, I just saw like the race, and I was like, oh, because remember that one time I made you a character and I thought it'd be funny, and I made Satar. That okay. Now anyway, back on track here.
So what I want to do, since nobody wants to do anything right now, because apparently Roridan is the guy who just here to smash things, doesn't seem very talker, stoic kind of a guy.
He's just like, this is not his place to talk right now. He understands that this is like some sort of ceremony. He's like, okay, well, I'm a
Okay.
paladin. I will wait for this ceremony to be completed.
So if there's
I
something
do
that you
not
want to
understand
do,
that this is a ceremony.
Rorver, is if there's something you want to do, please speak up, okay?
Oh no, yeah, I know, it's fine, it's fine. Like literally,
I
there's
can't-
just nothing that my character would do. That's literally the only
Okay.
reason I'm not doing much, is because I'm
'Cause
like, yeah, no, I don't fit into
Okay.
the
'Cause
situation.
I keep trying
so
to make sure I round to you, but I also can't see your face either. So
it's
like,
okay.
I'm not being able to gauge. So please make
So-
sure that you speak up.
I'm like
in a
cold,
blankie. He's a
okay,
burrito right
comfy
now.
in bed. All right,
I'm not
literally like
saying turn your camera on. I'm saying please just make sure you tell me.
I'm literally like, wait, where's my camera? Literally like a burrito right now, just like hi. Oh God.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Okay,
Okay.
so what Genesi wants to do is go, well, this is clearly a Bahamut miracle. The gold one lets out a fantastic fart. And then the ceremony coins are what, missing maybe? They're searching for something, huh, girls? This isn't normal. Perhaps there's no need for such silliness as sacrifices to the god of law and order, who typically doesn't like sacrifices.
And you say this loudly?
Oh, yes! Oh, yes! Oh, yes! I got a lion bodyguard that I'll bribe with something to help me out here. And I got this musical number. Like we're good. Ah, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if
yeah.
they can
I'm stirring the
see
pot.
you.
I mean, how far away are they?
If you're
Are they like
back,
60 feet?
yeah.
I'm 7 inches tall on
Yeah.
a little bar stool, wearing leather armor on top of a wooden thing. Like probably not. So they just hear this random voice. This random, charismatic, and full of confidence voice.
You get a few like kind of weird looks from people.
Mhm.
The guards definitely do kind of like one of these, but they can't find you. They just know somebody's saying something.
Did we get the priest's name?
Nahum, Nahum.
Nahum?
Nahum, Nahum. I think I've
Ooh.
said it
And then
different
the
each time.
name on the coin was Augustine?
Augustina.
Augustina. Okay. If I'm not getting enough of a rise out of the king and queen, I'll just go, hey, Gold One, Nahan, why did you have Augustine's coin up your sleeve attached to a leather string? Bahamut has worshippers all over that are real.
Shit.
Oh shit, the DM says.
I need 2 seconds of DM time while I figure out what.
The improv is
Is
incoming.
Louis, are you still by me?
No, the improv's been happening.
I am still by you.
Okay.
So
Since Louis is by me, what I'll do is I'll untuck the string and I'll fly over to Louis and I'll say, just open your hand. Just open your hand.
I'll open my hand.
And I'll drop the coin so that when it leaves my person, it grows back so that he can be holding on to the coin with the bit of leather tong still attached to it. Because I only cut the string and go, there, see? There
Well,
it
and
is with her name.
Well, and what I'll do is when it hits my hand, I'll flip it over so that I'm holding it between my 2 fingers.
but you're doing
Bahamut
this.
knows what is real
So-
and what is not.
You're doing this from 60 feet from the stage.
He's gonna probably hold it up.
Well, I could do that too if I'm
Ooh.
far away.
What's the current weather?
It's clear.
It's clear, sunny.
Yeah.
Perfect. Druidcraft, which will create, since it's currently sunny,
Oh,
a
man.
golden orb of a sun. I'll cast it just above the coin so the golden light shines down on it.
Fuck my life.
Behold! The god Bahamut does not want any more sacrifices.
I have lost my dire dice. Thank you very much. It went underneath my thing now because I dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
So as you say that part, the girl in the black dress actually says he is correct. And at this point, I imagine the king has sent over guards to escort you up to the platform, Louis. As since
Okay, yeah.
you're the one who's holding it.
Well,
I'm just gonna
I'm
sit on Louis' shoulder.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're sitting on my shoulder, then that's perfect. Yeah, we're both
Yep.
kind of walking our way
Yeah.
up there. Yeah.
I'll just
Yep.
kind of whisper, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave you behind."
Does your golden sun thing follow with us? Because if it doesn't, I have something I can do to keep the brightness effect kind of going.
It lasts for an hour, so yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
just, I'll just have it, I'll just have it specifically be targeted onto the coin. It'll just follow the coin
Okay.
because
Well,
it
because I
lasts for an
actually
hour.
so
So the sun is just shining on the coin.
uh-huh. Well, because the and this is kind of related to the other question I asked earlier because the two cantrips that I
Was
do
that?
the 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 two cantrips that I do have are minor illusion and prestidigitation. Like I have both of those two, so I can add to the effect a little bit by using minor illusion to kind of
Mm.
just make it glow a
Ooh,
little brighter
ooh.
too.
I'll whisper to you if you can make it silver.
Yeah, I can do that, and I'll easily do that.
So
So,
instead
Yeah.
of golden light, now it's Bahamut's silver light coming
Yeah.
down onto the
Yeah.
coin.
Yep.
as you guys get closer to the platform,
Yeah.
um, the the king kind of gets you guys, the executioner's daughter, the priest, and a couple guards, and you all kind of push back from the middle of the platform towards the back of the platform.
Uh
Okay?
huh. Uh huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What are?" And the king looks at you. "What are you talking about?"
I'm looking at my friend on my shoulder because he's the one that figured all this out, not me. I look at him and I'm like, "Yes, please do explain."
Well, it's quite simple. Bahamut's not one to want sacrifices. That's a terrible thing. Bahamut's full of love and law and things that are right and just. Sacrificing innocents aren't in his cards. Also, he really loves honeyed mead. And suddenly, this coin found its way into my pocket. And I felt this light from within me shine and tell me that it needed to be brought from the shadows of my pocket into the light of day, so that this terrible ceremony didn't need to go on any longer.
Can I aid him in what he is saying by like acknowledging and saying, "Yes, as soon as he did recognize this coin, he did show it to me, and I do recognize as such." I'm essentially trying to help him in like what he's saying.
The backup singer to his fucking praise.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
As
you could say that.
as you're telling him this, he just kind of
Mhm,
looks
mhm, mhm.
between you and the priest, and he, as the priest is denying anything, and he's like,
Is the leather tong still stuck on the claw after his mad dash of trying to figure some things out?
"No."
Okay.
Um. So, but then the girl in the black dress, you see the executioner as he goes, "Shush, Ava, shush." As she says, "No, tell the truth. Bahamut does not want these sacrifices. He has visited me multiple times and has told me that he does not want these sacrifices." And this begins an argument between her and the priest. Because now all of a sudden the priest is very adamant
Oh,
that this is the way that it's supposed to be. It's been this way for years. We continue to sacrifice the women, the girls. And she's like, "The girls are always the first to be sacrificed. That's not right. This is not the what he wants. You all are scared of me, but he said one day I would have to do something to stop it, and maybe I won't have to die, but he does not want these
I,
sacrifices anymore." And
Patches, are you like on some speakers or something? Every time she talks, there's an echo on your side. Oh, you just muted yourself. Thank you, sir. So I want to, as she's saying this, I want to help her argument by saying, I mean, if you're the high priest of Bahamut here, how come he's not talking to you? And also, if this ceremony is so sanctified and needed. Why did you desecrate it with your profanity?
At this point, you notice that they can't see you, Bug. There.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
At this point, you notice that now my stuff's all messed up. Go. At this point, you notice that the king is starting to pay attention. And he's starting to act like he believes you. Between Ava's argument and your guys' argument, he's starting to kind of start to put things together, little by little.
Hmm.
Um,
What color bloomers did the queen have? She's a queen. She gotta
Black.
have something fancy and different than everybody else.
Black.
Okay, I'm gonna need that information for later. Thank you.
You're welcome. Um,
Man.
and so at that point, the king just looks flustered, like he has no idea what to do. And as the girl keeps going on about reiterating your point, I mean, at this point, it's probably about 10-15 minutes. At this point, you notice that if Dragonborns could sweat, he would be sweating at this
Mhm.
point. And
What was the girl's name
You know the
again?
priest.
Ava.
Ava.
And
I'm just gonna be like, Ava, darling. What else did my buddy Bahamut tell you? You said he visits you in your dreams, and you definitely have the manner he would just love. So, what else did he say for you to do? Something to end this farce, this charade.
He,
Obviously, since I'm his best friend with Feywild, I came to help.
he had said that um endowed me with some sort of power and said that there will come a day that I would have to possibly lay down my life to save my kingdom from the treachery that was going on, and that that day I would know when that day was, and that if I did as
You
he
felt it
asked,
was today?
I did feel as if it was today.
Did you know that the princess was gonna be sacrificed or, you know, randomly chosen?
I did not, but I intended on stepping in for whoever was chosen regardless.
Oh wait, this is like a Hunger Games situation. She's like, I volunteer
Oh.
as tribute.
she's a tribute. Oh,
I'll just
You know
look
what?
over to the king and queen and go, is it customary for a volunteer to happen, or does it always have to be who's chosen?
It's always who's chosen.
Well, then, you're in a pickle, aren't you? Because. And I'll just gesture over to the coin that I'm sure Louis is still holding, and now
I'm just twirling it
Bahamut's
between my
silver-
fingers at this point.
Bahamut's silvery light is shining on it.
You see like
Let
the
me-
lights. You see like the lights following the coin as I'm just like flipping it through my fingers.
Didn't the fairy say that it's like like it was staged or something? There's like a rope. He like announced it.
Yeah. So there's, however, it was attached to the leather strap. I never removed that. I only cut it, where like like a piece of string, just cut it in half right at the string part. So as Leo is twirling it, the string that is attached to the coin is still there. And I asked if the Dragonborn still had the other end on his pinky, and I was told no. So I don't know where the other half
Wait.
is.
Wait. Did I hear that though? I would have heard that, right? You were like announcing it to like the entire area.
Oh yes! Oh
Ah,
yes!
yes!
I was
It's
all
so
bravado
confusing.
about that.
How tall is the stage to like stand up on? Like, can I? Oh, actually, no, I'm like a 7-foot lion, man. Can I just take like one step and just be on the stage?
You can easily get on the stage, but you do have to go a few feet because the rest of them have gone back towards the tower as they're having this conversation.
I've been traveling with this fairy for a while, so I mean, like, I trust.
yeah,
the
we know who
fairy.
you are. We know who you are.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
yeah.
and stand in front of the priest and be all like tall and imposing and be like, "So you faked it? It isn't real?"
So at this point,
I'm just gonna whisper to Leo. I love it when he gets all aggressive. He's so manly.
Hey, man, no. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I meant like I'm a little interested because like the girl is like being all glorious now, and I'm like, oh, that fits my character. I like this chick. This NPC's cool.
and he starts kind of shaking a little bit, and he's like, I, 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 I.
You can't lie to us. It's too late. All your dirty sins have been revealed. Bahamut wishes you to be punished.
But that's we always have the offering is gotta the offering has to happen
Why?
because that's how
Yes.
it's always been.
Oh, darling, I've been around for centuries. How it always been is boring. You always have to change things up, and today's the day.
Where does this offering take place? Though?
Ever been with a
Oh,
pixie? Wink.
It where does it? Do you ask where does this? It
yeah,
take
yeah. I'll be like, where then? Where do you take like do this sacrifice?
up. We send the girls up on the up to the peak.
Well, I
Um.
mean, the girl's pretty set on going herself by the sounds of it. So, I mean, we could
So
just take her up there.
I mean, what's the point, right? She probably only wanted to volunteer so that nobody had to be here to do it, and that's done.
She sounded confident. She believes in herself.
We've,
She says that she's
I
spoken
mean,
to Bahamut herself.
that doesn't mean she has to be sacrificed. There's probably some ugly monster up there, but that doesn't mean this poor girl has to die.
so at this
Okay,
point,
flip through it.
she looks at you guys and she goes, "We still need to go to the peak. There's one
Very
more
Oh,
thing
well.
we
I
gotta
need
kill the big monster, do we?
we
Out of character, I think she said something about like sacrificing her life according to like whoever was speaking to her.
So, my interpretation of she just wanted to take the place thereof, and that she was expecting whatever power that she had would be able to defeat whatever the monster is. Because she
Yeah,
said that she didn't know if she would live or die from doing so.
I was under the assumption that she said that she was going to die and that it was her duty to die for her people.
I don't think she said she was going to die.
I'm pretty sure you said that. You said like it is my duty to sacrifice my life or something. She said.
Well, maybe something along the lines of
like
sacrificing
she
their
felt
life,
like
but
she should be sacrificing her life because but Hamet had told her that she may have to sacrifice her life.
There you go. That's what I meant. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
But at this
I'll
point,
just.
go ahead.
Well, I'll just say, well, I mean. How do you pronounce your name? Rorovir?
Orovir?
Rorovia, yeah.
Rorovir. If you want to
Yeah.
go and smash something, let's go smash something. This party's getting awfully dull anyway.
Like the ceremony. If it's true, I want to see it be true. If it's false, I want it to stop being praised.
Well,
So
if there's some monster that constantly requires a yearly virgin sacrifice, and that is why eons ago the old clergy said it was Bahamut, so that it would be more accepted to the. And I'll just gesture the mortals. Uh, we just go defeat the little beastie and have some fun.
so
I don't believe in lying about one's fate, so I agree.
so she tells you guys to hang on just a second, and she runs and she grabs. She comes back with a sword,
Oh.
and then
I like this one.
she
I like this one too.
she looks at you guys and she
Can we
says,
keep her?
"The I'm not to be kept. Thank you very much." No, I
No,
don't.
no, just join our party, dear. Just to join us. Just, leave this place. Explore the world. All of
Ready to
them.
straight-
If we survive this, and after a conversation with my father, we can discuss that. Yeah, sure. So she says two things. We need to go up to the peak, and then the priest needs to come with us.
Oh, Goldilocks here.
That'll be easy. You're coming, right? So like stare at him and be like, coming?
Hand me all those
Moravir
papers.
will convince him to come
Those
along, I'm
papers?
sure.
Those papers on the floor, hand them all here.
I'm looking at my divine
I had
intervention.
to
to
have
see
my
if
kid
I can
hand me
like-
my
Other
papers
wants
back.
to do the convincing.
And she
That's a bit
starts
of my specialty.
I
heading.
mean, Louis, this is the kind of forced convincing, not persuading them to our cause. This is. You will do this. Look at
Uh,
him. Look at him. His muscles are twitching. He's just aching to get his claws into something.
like fake ceremonies.
So then you guys start to head up to. She starts to guide you guys up to the peak.
So before we leave, I want to take that small pouch that had all the coins and fly over to the executioner.
Okay.
And I just want to be open your hand, dear. I got a present for you.
He looks at you kind of strangely, but he does as you ask.
So I'll put my teeny tiny hand in his hand and tell him, now put your other hand just on top here. So that he does this, and then I'll let go of the bag of sacrificial coins so that he has it.
Okay.
And I'll as his hands cover what it is that I'm giving him so nobody knows, I'll just go, we'll take care of it, don't worry. Bahamut sends his regards, give him a wink, and then fly off to the rest. I might need to keep this guy. He's fun. He's just. I don't know who I likes best so far. This guy or the satyr druid who only turned into a giant hyena just for belly rubs.
Just, they're both pretty good. Give me just a second. I threw away my paper version, but I need it for a second. I can't find it. So.
I'm basically implying for him to just get rid of whatever this is.
Oh shit!
We don't
I
need this
didn't tell you.
anymore.
I have like a shield, but I can't use it. I forgot to tell you what my weapon looks like, guys. I have a giant double scimitar. So you know, like you know those big like long staffs with like thing. But except here, hold on. I've got a picture of it.
So, you guys follow Ava. You guys follow her out of town, and she goes out, and you see the main road, and then you see like this off-beaten road to the right that kind of starts to go from where you can say it just kind of goes uphill, kind of towards the top of the peak. And she turns that way, and she starts to head out as you guys follow her.
Now, Louis, make sure you get jotting all this down. This is going to be a fantastic story later. How the
Oh,
fallen
very
intrepid
much.
heroes stopped this terrible thing, led by the heroess in her dark, mischievous battle armor, gleaming sword in the light.
It'll be the best tale.
She says, the path ahead is dangerous and we may encounter hostile creatures. Stay alert. And she touches
Promise.
each of you on the shoulder. Well, can't quite get your shoulder there. And you each get 3 temporary hit points.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Yes.
Um,
Excuse me.
Weapon in the general chat.
The mountain range before you is a series of jagged limestone pillars blanketed in patches of trees. The trail is relatively flat for the first few miles, and then it starts to kind of go incline up. As you guys are walking, she says, Bahamut does not ask Soldra to sacrifice its citizens for him. It is true that a century ago, you asked me what Bahamut had shared with me. It is true that about a century ago, we were once frequently attacked by dragons, but that was only because of where we built the city, and it was a home to a race of dragons. That is why there are still layers and hordes within these mountains. There's a volcano that's dormant here as well. But these were not the chromatic dragons. Where'd that go? Sorry. Many fear. these were the cousins of Bahamut's chosen creatures, the metallic dragons with scales and wings that glint and gleam. The sacrifice. Bahamut told me that the sacrifice was the idea of Soldra's first temple priest. Um, there were rumors that he did not worship Bahamut but Tiamat. But when he did start offerings, the dragon attack stopped. So, because of the human nature, superstitious human nature that people have, the ritual continued. And as she tells you guys this, you can kind of start to hear uh, Nahum start to protest what she's saying behind her, and she does kind of one of these, and he shuts up. Is anybody proficient with Arcana?
Nope.
Okay.
I was not given that ability.
So you just see her do this, and then he shuts up.
Now that is a fantastic trick.
She said, "Girl."
Ooh.
She says, "Girls like me are always the first to be sacrificed. But I promised Bahamut I would do as he asked. Still, I hope to not become another pile of bones that we find. But I don't think that was what he intended for me." And as you guys are continuing to walk, you guys see that the path is literally littered with bones, human bones of all shapes, sizes, dozens, just all over this trail.
I'm not one to shy away from a sacrifice or two, but
It's
not one that's needless and against what a friend would want. Granted, he hasn't talked to me in 100 years. I'll just look up at the sky, you jerk! I made one joke about your gas! Huh? Oh.
As you guys start to keep climbing, obviously you guys see all of these bones, and you can tell that there's been some that have been there a century, with how sun bleached and with different degrees of decompensation. Decomposition? No.
Yeah, yeah.
Decomposing? Is that decomposition?
Well, I think both is
Decomposition.
fine. I think both is fine. Yeah.
Decomposition is the word
Yeah.
you're
Is
looking
it?
for based
Okay.
off of how you were explaining it.
Thank you.
You're
So you guys start to go up and you finally come to a peak. There's two things that you notice when you get to the peak. Towards the edge of the peak, there seems to be like this huge circle sigil. It none of you know Arcana, but it just looks like a bunch of symbols in a circle towards the edge of the peak. The second thing that you guys hear is a huge roar as a black dragon with a gold tail comes barreling towards you.
Ooh.
And here's your battle as everybody rolls for initiative.
I actually had a quick question before this happens. So I am a bard, and I am level 3, so I do have jack of all trades, and I'm technically half proficient in every other skill that I'm not fully proficient in. Would that be enough?
Do you know Draconic?
I do know Draconic.
Yep. I was also given to her Draconic. She cast Silence.
Yeah, well, are you asking for the sigil or what she commanded with her hand?
Well, that was the only time you asked about the Arcana check.
Okay,
so that's
with
what
the
I'm
Arcana,
assuming.
okay. So
Well, he also mentioned something as we were getting closer to the peak, but I wasn't sure if that applied.
okay, so with the hand, no, you wouldn't be able to. When you got closer to the peak on the ground, you noticed there were some symbols, but if you speak Dracana, you do notice that it says once the sword is in the heart, the curse stops.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. Yeah. Red.
And at the same
Once
time,
the sword is in the heart.
and that is on the kind of the outside of the circle of sigils. And
Interesting.
as you guys come onto it, and as she goes closer to the sigil, that's when you guys hear the roar.
Yeah. Red. Okay.
Perfect.
Does the is it a sigil or a magic circle?
Magic circle.
Okay. So
I
is
would.
there a center?
Ye-
Is there like where lines coexist to
yeah.
be the center of the circle?
Yeah.
I know
Okay.
what Adam's thinking.
I don't know. I'm
You know,
improvising. We are
the
totally
only
off the.
Doesn't necessarily mean the dragon heart. Doesn't necessarily mean the sacrifice's heart. It could be just as simple as take that toothpick and pop it into there.
it's funny because I think this lady's the only one with an actual sword because I don't have a sword. This is not a
I've
sword.
got a couple of toothpicks. Ha ha!
I
Where's
rolled a
more
17.
toothpick? Oh, Inesh.
Oh
All
yes.
right.
Boom.
Initiative. Wait, where's?
Big
Oh,
Inesh.
here's my initiative thing.
16. 1-6.
I got a
Small swing,
6.
1-6.
Dang.
That's
Ouch.
perfect. Good job, Louis.
Ah.
And now we're facing a chromatic dragon with metallic traits. Interesting. I feel like it's a corruption of the metallic, and he's only got a wee little bit left. With every sacrifice, he gets more and more corrupt.
So, Louis, what was your initial?
6.
Dizzy?
Izzy hit
17.
17,
I've got a different page up. Thank you.
and I rolled a 16.
A 6 or you rolled 16, right?
1-6. 16.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Dizzy, you're up. As you look up, as I would say probably 50 feet from you at this point is this black dragon with a golden tail.
Well, Dizzy is going to look up and he is going to hold out his sword and he is going to cast Guiding Bolt. Yes, I get that as a paladin. How cool is that?
Fucking dope.
It rolled a 14. I don't know if that hits. I should have cast Bless first. Never mind. Don't worry. I'm just going to cast Guiding Bolt and see what happens. Does a 14 hit?
Hang on, I'm sorry. I lost my page.
So what? Wait, what are we fighting again? A black dragon.
With
Or
a
blue dragon?
little bit of gold at the tail.
Oh,
So it
that's
seems
weird.
to me it looks like it was entirely gold, and as these sacrifices have been happening, it's been more and more corrupt, changing into a black dragon.
Okay. What was it that you had rolled?
14.
14. Okay. The guiding bolt kind of veers to the left and misses the dragon.
No. Well, that's all I can do then.
Um, I almost called you Ignish.
Genezi, you mean me?
Yeah,
Tis my turn.
it is your Genezi. Thank you. It is your turn.
Fantastic. I'll go. Now this is a party. I will bonus action cast Zephyr Strike on myself, giving me an additional 30 feet of movement. So my speed is now 60 with basic movement. It also, for funsies, allows me to give myself advantage on one weapon attack on my turn. And so I, of course, will summon the winds to guide my toothpick arrow as I pull this teeny tiny arrow with my teeny tiny bow and I pull back.
Okay.
And I will. Oh yeah, when this whole alt thing like this doesn't work anymore. So we will. No, not short sword, fucker. No, longbow. Thank you. So a dirty 20 and a 14. So dirty 20 to hit. Dost thou dirty 20 hit?
It hits.
It does. Okay. When you creature with weapon once per turn. Okay. So first of all, as the arrow leaves my bow and it leaves out of my area, it goes from a tiny toothpick to a normal size arrow that smacks into the dragon, doing 4 points of damage. But wait, we're not done yet. Because with Zephyr Strike, that adds another d8. Which is another 3 points. But wait, we're not done yet. Because I have Dreadful Strikes as my subclass. And he also takes 1 point of psychic damage.
Yeah.
And then, as a kind of a free-ish action, I'm just gonna be like, I don't know who else speaks Draconic around here, but stabbing the heart, I wonder if it's the center of this corrupted magical circle.
Oh, I picked up on it too, my friend. Don't you worry.
He looks like he used to be gold. And I will hide behind Louis's back so that Louis is giving me not only 100% cover, but 1,000% cover. As I'm this big.
All right.
That'll be my turn.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when I don't make the characters.
I mean, it was only 8 points of damage, but it
I
was
know.
boom, 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 boom.
Boom, one after the
If
other.
that stacks up, that's gonna be dope.
Okay. At that point, you kind of see Ava as she stands in the middle of the sigil, and she says, she says, "Sisters, come to me."
Ooh.
Oh.
And
She's a
then
necromancer. We didn't even notice. All those bones. She summons the army of the dead. Ah! She's the big bad the whole time. We were fooled.
you you see her say, "Come," and the dragon comes and is hovering, flying right above her. And next up is Louis.
Oh
We know where
boy.
this is going.
What isn't Louis gonna do? Okay, well, so I already know what he's gonna do. I'll tell you what. So he's gonna use his object interaction. He's gonna pull out his rapier, and he has the Warcaster feat, which means he can have two things in both of his hands and still be able to perform somatic components of spells. So with both things in his hands, would he have seen that his fairy friend hid behind him?
I would
'Cause,
say
yeah.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of look over my shoulder. And I'm just gonna say, "Oh, my friend, what's a party without a bit of music?" And so what he's gonna do is he's gonna cast mirror image, but I'm gonna tell you how he's gonna do it. So with his rapier in one hand and his staff in the other hand, So every time he brings up a word mentioning, because I have lyrics in my head of how he's gonna cast it. Every time he says a word involving making more copies of himself, he's gonna like minorly like slam his staff on the ground. But this is basically what he sings. So he has both, and he's gonna say, duplicate, multiply, split it all up, get ready for find its mirror image. And then as he does that, 3 duplicates of myself form around me.
I want this guy in the rhyme game. Get rid of Naval. I like this guy.
I mean, I'm up for it if you are. But yeah.
Image. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm actually proud of myself for coming up with that one. But yeah, so he's gonna be using his action to cast mirror image to create 3 duplicates of himself. And as far as bonus actions, I think I have Bardic Inspiration, but I'm not going to use it quite yet. I'm going to save that. So I'm not going to use a bonus action, and I believe it was either my reaction or object interaction to draw forth my rapier, so I believe that's all I have for my turn at the moment.
Okay. And next up is the
Yeah.
dragon, which. Hang on, guys. Sorry. 2 seconds.
Uh,
10 seconds. Hate being
Uh,
in the basement.
I love how I came up with those lyrics. Those are
Dude,
great.
that music is brilliant.
I gotta say, Louis is probably one of my favorite characters that I've created so far. Like,
I love playing bards, and I've never come up with my own lyrics, so I am just tickled pink about this. This makes me so happy.
because I was literally trying to think up of as many words that involved like splitting up oneself as possible, and so yeah, literally, I'm just like duplicate, multiply, and then yeah, split it all up, get ready for a fight. I'm just like, yeah, that fits so well for this. I got something a little less complicated for another one of my spells, which I'm gonna be doing on my next turn, but I still think it's just as good.
Okay.
It's that one spell that I was excited about, so.
I think I did that wrong. So when
Oh.
when you do command, it says the damage effect is prone. If
Wait, what?
she commanded the dragon to approach her, but then it says damage effect is prone. I guess if he's approaching her under a command spell, would he still have his turn?
Approach.
He has
Target moves
to.
toward you by the shortest round, ending its turn if it moves within 5 feet of you.
You say approach, it just moves towards you within 5 feet.
Right. So, yeah, grovel is target falls prone.
Oh,
You did
that's-
approach or come.
Yeah. Okay.
So it moves until it's within 5 feet of you.
Okay.
I think grovel for flying creatures means they fly down and then they kneel, right, or something.
Oh, he didn't kneel. He's hovering above her.
Yeah, so grovel, target falls prone when it ends its turn, so it wouldn't even happen until it got to its turn.
Okay.
So, did the dragon go after her?
Yeah, it's the dragon's turn right now. So
So
technically
now would be is when the dragon
would move.
at the end of the dragon's turn is when the dragon moves towards her.
Okay. So before that, though, he could take his action.
He ends his turn doing that, if that makes sense.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, she uses command. Does that negate his turn?
Negates his entire turn.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He comes straight to her and just hovers within 5 feet. You know, if he's in the air, flapping his wings to stay above the air, or if he lands on the ground, that's up to the dragon to interpret that, I guess.
Okay. My main question was that it negated his turn.
Yeah, that's his turn. Yeah.
Okay. And then Dizzy, you're up next.
Oh, is it within running distance of like 30 feet? Oh, actually, I think I get 35 feet as a Leonin.
So at this point it has moved, and she's standing in the middle of the sigil, magic circle sigil, and the dragon is, I would say, 20 feet above her head. Well, it says within 5 feet, so I guess it's right above her head. But
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna run up and attack it. I don't really have an answer to this. I
Okay.
don't have a sword. I have a scimitar.
that's fine. Because how tall? You're like 7 foot.
Yeah,
Okay.
7'8".
Yep. So go ahead and make your attack roll, please.
I'm gonna use lucky because I missed, and I have 2 more left today. So that's yeah, I used one, so I have 2 left.
And double-bladed scimitar is such a cool weapon.
I'm gonna try and roll that again and see if I get above a 9. Oh, I got a natural 20.
Nice. Roll
I
for
am gonna
damage.
smite.
And smite.
Of
Okay.
course. Of course.
So that's
don't-
with smite
What do I
damage?
roll 4d8? No, that was the regular roll.
That was-
That's a it does 2d6 by default, and then it goes. Oh no, so yeah, 2d4. Then gone
Okay.
up to. I'm just reading this. Yeah, 2d4 by default, so it went up to 2d8, and then I got to do smite, which is now 4d8. So 13 plus 21 damage.
Okay.
24.
Nice.
And then, as a special weapon, because it's a bonus, it's double-edged scimitar, I can make a bonus action attack with it
Okay.
for a 17 or 18. Sorry,
That hits.
I mean 1d4 this time.
Okay.
6.
Okay.
Why did you get 2 original attacks? A 9 and the
I
25.
lucky rolled
He
the
did luck.
Ah, you spent the luck.
He spent.
Got it. Nice.
Um.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Next up
I love it.
is Ganassi. Ganazi. However we're saying it.
Nahum?
You.
Oh, Pixie?
Pixie. There we go. That's easy. Thank you.
So, how is she how is she standing? Is she just like, did she just go come, and then she's just looking up at this thing expecting it to
No.
stab her in the heart?
No.
Like, what is she doing?
She's got a very offensive stance. So like the sword is currently pointed down towards the middle of the circle, but she's not just standing there. She's looks on the offensive.
Okay, okay.
Does that make sense? So she's got the sword.
No, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. How? What is the distance from where I am to where they are in the center? 10, 15 feet? Like, what's the?
I'd say probably about 15 feet.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I want to break the game.
Of course.
No,
I'm playing.
And with my 60 feet of fly, because of Zephyr Strike that's still on me, buzz up to be above the dragonkin. I'm gonna just hover down, release my arrow, and then I want to land on him to give her advantage on her next attack. Because I'm on him and I'm a threat. And I will give myself advantage on my arrow attack because of Zephyr Strike. So, we will roll this beautiful thing. Oh, I don't think either hit. I don't think a 14 hits, right? Does a
No.
14 hit this thing? No, that's fine. I will still land on it to give, I'm just 7 inches tall on the back of him. What's he gonna do?
So you see, after you do that, actually, I should have. 3 things happens. 3 or 4 things actually happen really quick. One, you actually see like around the peak start to come up are these other black dragons that start to come up, and they're kind of just make a circle around the peak. They've got land and they've landed on the edges of the peak. Okay. Um, and Ava actually does two things simultaneously, real quick. She stabs. No, she does the one. She stabs the sword into the rock, right into the middle of the magic circle of the sigil, and you all of a sudden see this bright light as it goes straight up, straight through the black dragon, and just uh, he's smithereens. Um, Pixie make a dexterity saving throw.
I'm dust.
Oh, just make me
Oh, that was a check. I apologize. There you go. 22.
You barely get out of the way just in time. So pretty much you like I don't know how you do it. It's the Feywild. Maybe it was Bahamut giving you a favor, but you were like, "Oh, it's over. Hundreds of years are over. Your life flashed before your eyes, and you find yourself on the ground a few feet away." Um, and
Dragon thoughts. That's weird.
um, as soon as you, as soon as this all happens, the black dragons that had lined up around the peak, they also burst with a bright light, and they go from black dragons to women. And Ava looks at you guys and she says, "This is ultimately what we were supposed to do, and I thank you for helping me accomplish this without me having to die. Bahamut does not want these sacrifices to happen." As the dragons all turn back into women, and the light spreads out back towards the city, essentially cleansing the area.
So the one that had the bit of gold tip, they died.
Yes, they died. And when you guys, I almost forgot about him. When you guys turn and see the priest,
Mm.
he's gone too. He's dust.
Ooh, I want those clothes. Those were fabulous.
You
Thanos
take
snapped
the
too
clothes.
slick.
Yeah, he's gone too.
So I'm just making sure I understand quick. Like, we're done with our encounter
Yeah,
right now?
yeah.
Okay, so Louis gonna look around and he's gonna say, "Oh, a pity. I didn't even get to bust out my main party trick."
Look, look. I'm a priest of Bahamut.
My character's
Well,
just looking at his
you know-
gold-plated suits, are like,
And thank you for joining me, and that is the very modified version of Executioner's Daughter.
Ah.
Sorry, I broke your one shot with my
It's okay.
fairy antics.